I've reached the point where I'm okay with who I am most of the time. I hope you are too. And when you look at my work, if it makes you laugh, makes you engage, or you can point to someone and say, really, then I've been successful. My self-worth is not dependent on you doing this, but I like it when there's a connection. If I can hang a photograph on the wall and you laugh, you and I have laughed together. My name's Amy Boyle Johnston, also known as Bonk. My show opens October 1st at Flower City Art Center, and the title is Nothing is Real. It's a collection of over 60 images, photographs of toy soldiers, toys, people in model train layouts, and puppets, portraits of puppets. And it's a riff on The Decisive Moment by Henry Cartier-Bresson, where it captures a moment of action, even though that moment of action doesn't exist. I have an MFA from Visual Studies Workshop, but that was when photography was film. Digital images, when I left VSW, I bought a 6 megapixel digital camera for $2,000, and everyone was amazed it had 6 megapixels. What happened was I dropped photography, as many people did, when the digital revolution happened. And about 5 years ago, I started to pick up the camera again, and I started to photograph the layouts of model trains. And slowly what I started to notice was the intricacies of how people would put their own reflections or anxieties in these layouts. And then the model train layouts became toy soldiers, and then I started to go to puppet conferences, and I started to treat the puppet portraits and other works as what are they showing about our anxieties. And I never photographed the trains, only the people, because I find it interesting how we show ourselves. In the show, one photograph has been exhibited before at an auction, and that is called Native Prey. Other than that, I'm unaware of any of these photographs ever being exhibited before. I wanted to be a quote-unquote serious black and white photographer. I shot film exclusively. I wouldn't edit. If I thought it looked better as a vertical than a horizontal, I would never flip. I literally held myself to if I screwed up taking the picture, I wasn't going to fix it. So in that sense, I was quote-unquote a purist, and these are still true. These are all full frame. They have been cropped. It's all new, except for one photograph. But there's also the sketches. I've never displayed my sketches before. I teach urban sketching here at the Art Center. Being an artist in residence at Flower City Arts, as a teacher, what I've learned is that most people have art scars for a very good reason. We've had instructors say not nice things. Art scars are a real thing, but what I tell my students, are you learning? Is this a process you enjoy? And so when I'm showing my sketches, I'm also showing my vulnerability. And there is no sketch that is perfect. There's no sketch that is wrong. Some sketches are better than others. But what I'm doing by showing the sketches is I'm inviting you to do the same if you want to. I became a sketch artist, a sketcher, I want to say. I'd already had my MFA for years. I saw someone who was an urban sketcher. Her name is Janine. And I said, I've always wanted to do it. And she said, then you should. And so by hanging the sketches along with the photographs, it's an invitation to say we're all human, we all make mistakes, we all do this, but there's a joy and a livelihood in it. And I think that's one of the things that we forget to do in art. There's something about sitting there and sketching or looking at a photograph and feeling something warm and inviting that says we're human. The artist in residency, it's really, during the past year and a half in COVID, has taught me about isolation. And so many of these photographs deal with isolation. Many of the photographs, especially the toy soldiers, when they stare at the viewer, it's a pleading, it's a silent pleading. So COVID has taught me about working in silence in a way that nothing ever has. These photographs invoke silence, which is originally what I wanted to call the series is Silence Squared for most of them, because the idea of them not speaking words, but they're pleading. And that's really what COVID has been like, working as an artist during COVID. When I first became an artist, which was in graduate school, I wanted to be thought of as serious, I wanted to be thought of as angsty. I wanted you to think I was a deep thinker, and I was probing areas no one had gone. And I still have that part of me, but now I want people to engage in my photographs. And not, these photographs are not for everyone, and not every photograph is for one person. There's going to be images you like and images you go, you're kidding. That's okay. I often think my artwork and sometimes my personality is like a spice that you like to have on the shelf, but you're not going to use it in every meal. And even though everything in this show is not about something real, it's puppets or models of people or anything else, I'm inviting you to relate to it. The Flower City Art Center has really taught me to be more patient and be more of a cheerleader, and also to say, we do make mistakes. Some things are better than others, but why we are here as an art center for the community is to celebrate what that creative drive in us. And the sketches really represent that. It's the sense of, I am here, I took this time to do this silly little thing that does not matter to anyone, but it brings me joy. And so I'm celebrating that, and that alone makes it worthy of celebrating.